because we don't want to stop doesn't want to stop our services to our client or to our stakeholders just because of this COVID-19. So I'm so happy that we have very energetic and innovative attorney Danica. We have Julie Spanoy. We have a lot of talented personnel from BLGF7. So again, I'm inviting our viewers. We will be having I'm more excited for the next episode. sana so you will be, aside from the fact that the vlogs will be shown during the kapihan, it will be also uploaded in our YouTube channel and Tama Talks and our Facebook page, so that those who were not able to monitor during the live viewing, they can have it reviewed, okay, or replayed. Okay, so with that, I'm so excited, and hopefully you also. So thank you so much, George, and I'm saying good luck to our production team.
Ayan. Thank you for the support, RD. Hindi mangyayari yan pag wala po yung support ng ating Regional Director, GC Dr. Larry. What we will be doing is that take advantage natin. Narito na tayo sa platform, online platform. Usong-uso ngayon yung mga video logging. Ilalag mo yung video mo. What we will be doing, not just ordinary vlogging. Pupunta kami sa isang LGU. We will document each and every step of the general revision process. Yung nababasa natin na first records conversion, you collect, you go to the field, you fill up the files and so on and so forth. Hanggang libro lang yan, pero we do not see the actual works of a general revision. So yan po yung gawin ng aming production team. May mga bata po tayo ditong member ng production team. So we will take advantage of that energy, of that youth, parang kanilang motivation. So pupunta kami, Adi. This will be like, as you have said, posted also on YouTube, parang tutorial na rin. Every step of the way ng general revision, records conversion, kung ano yung gawin sa field verification, i-document namin dito. We will be going to an LGU. And of course, thank you very much for the support, Adi. Yes, Adi.
So I would just like to make mention that when I was able to look at the design of this project, so I was so amazed that the plot itself is very detailed, that if you look at it, talaga masusubaybayan ng mga assessors natin. And in fact, I have really put it into a formalized one, because we want that to be accredited to the central office para magiging officially that will be counted as part of our technical assistance to our treasurers and assessors should it become a module, parang module, napakaganda po. So please hold on to that, and most likely baka matapos yung video nila, we will be showing that for next episode. Thank you, Torch.
Thank you. Thank you, Adi. Okay. At team will be going to, i-mention ko na kasi nag-request na kami ng permission from the assessor and the city mayor. At team will be going to Bugo City dyan ngayong hapon po. This will be a week-long production. So pupunta po kami sa Bugo City. So baka naman yung mga nakakilala kay Mr. Jolis Panoy nag-wonder, ano ba yung pagmumukha ng Mr. Jolis Panoy na yan? So pupunta po kami ngayong hapon dyan sa Bugo City. Baka naman may pa-meet and greet si Mr. Jolis Panoy dyan sa Bugo City. Anyway, we will be working pa rin. Sabi ng aming regional director, we will chronicle each and every step of the general revision process, sa mga personnel involved, yung mga documents needed, at saka step of the way, parang tutorial. So this will not be one episode only. We will segment the video documentation. Sabi nga, pupunta na doon sa YouTube namin channel. And please do subscribe in our YouTube channel also, para naman ganahan kaming gagawa pa ng ganitong content. Now, that is only for the assessment part, yung pag-conduct ng general revision. We will also be doing treasury part naman, siguro yung tax mapping, yung pagpupunta sa mga businesses for the tax mapping operation. And kung ano man yung gusto nyo, i-comment nyo na para ma-document. Parang, di ba, uso-uso ngayong tutorial doon sa mga, kung may gusto ka sanang gagawin, di mo alam, pupunta ka sa YouTube kung ano yung gagawin. So, parang tutorial. So, gagawin din natin yan kasi may mga bata tayo dito ng production team. Thank you for that support, Adi Gise Dr. Lero. Ayan. We have live viewers now on our BLGF7 Kapihan official Facebook page. We have up to 50 live viewers. Good morning. Nauuna agad si Ma'am Edna Carla Arboes. Good morning, Ma'am. At saka yung treasurer ng vegan yung nag-send ng query with prescriptive period yata. Yun. Good morning, Ma'am. Okay. Meanwhile, bago tayo pupunta doon sa ating pag-greetings with our kwan, papasadahan muna natin yung mga news of the week that matters, yung mga top stories, not necessarily top, pero yung what matters most the week that was. Ito, ginagawa po natin para magkaroon ng parang benchmark or timeline yung ating BLGF kapihan. So, pag nare-recall nyo, nare-replay nyo yung mga episodes namin, medyo may benchmark kayo kung kailan kaya ito na-play. So, ladies and gentlemen, first news of the week that matters. Ayan, ang latest po nito, si Governor namin, Governor Garcia, may sariling Facebook page din yan. So, talagang doon, passionate din si Gov Garcia doon sa kanyang mga discussion sa kanilang Facebook page. Ang latest po dito, pumupunta, parang may meeting po yata with Malacanang officials and the Governor about this news of the week. Ito po, all Cebu-bound international flight are diverted kasi natapos na po, ginagawa na po to Manila. Ayan. Bakit kaya? In related news, Malacanang orders the strict enforcement of COVID-19 testing, quarantine protocols for inbound international travelers in all ports of entry, ito, regardless of any specific protocols that may be issued by the local government unit. Ayan. Medyo naawa po kasi yung governor namin doon sa mga inbound travelers, lalo na po yung mga OFW na medyo mapahaba yung kanilang quarantine, magastos pa, ayan, medyo bawas pa doon sa time sa kanilang family. So ito, dinivert tuloy yung mga flights going to Cebu and to Manila, to Naiya. Okay. Siguro ang kinakatukan nito, they were afraid of the new variants coming from the outside. Kaya inbound travelers are mandated to have strict quarantine protocols. Pangalawang news of the week that matters, the Department of Justice has already signed the guidelines for the arrest of persons not wearing face mask. Hindi ako naka-wear ng face mask but I am alone in my booth right now. So, if you are in a group of people or in a room, lalo na yung room na medyo kulob, you wear face mask. Kinodefine daw po ng DOJ at saka ng DILG yata dito kasi si Yusik Malaya yung nag-announce ng DILG. Yung mga existing laws relative to the quarantine protocols at sa mga minimum health standards, kinodefine nila para wala ng lituhan. So, may guidelines na ang DOJ for the arrest. Ito, for the arrest talaga of persons not wearing face mask. So, let us cooperate po. Pangatlong news of the week that matters. Sabi ng ating Pangulo, unang hulihin. Sino kaya yung unang hulihin? Ganun, nakakatakot naman po. Unang hulihin daw. Ha? Unang hulihin. Hinahanap ko sino yung unang hulihin. Si President Duterte orders the arrest of village chief. So, yung mga kapitan unang hulihin who will fail to prevent mass gatherings. Sila yung unang hulihin daw pag mayroong mass gatherings doon sa kanilang jurisdiction. I'm ordering the police, sabi ng ating presidente, to arrest the barangay captain and bring him to the station and investigate him for dereliction of duties. Ayan, unang hulihin daw. Pang-apat na news of the week that matters, house and lot at saka motorsiklo pinaparapol po sa Las Piñas. Ay, doon kay Congressman Villarreal. Para sa mga magpapakuna, hintay ako ng parapol ganyan dito sa amin. Pero ang medyo mababa lang yata yung vaccine hesitancy. Kasi mataas na po yung madami na po yung nabakunahan. Okay? Hmm? Ito, human interest muna. Ito muna, local news dito sa Cebu City. The Cebu City had padlocked 45 illegal STL, yung STL ano ba yung small town lottery outlets in violation of illegal numbers game, yung RE 92287. So bakit ito napasali sa ating news of the week that matters? Kasi all the time the local treasurers are asking, "Sir, nag-a-apply ng mayor's permit, business permit yung mga illegal STL, yung mga operators ng yung mga house show daw dyan." So ito, parang kasagutan ni ata yun, binadlock. So bakit kayo mag-issue ng permit doon sa mga illegal outlets? Mapasali pa kayo dyan sa gulo dyan. So at least dito sa Cebu City, 45 STL outlets had been closed, padlock, in violation of RE 9287 or the illegal numbers game. Remember Miss Universe Myanmar? Kanya kasi nag-protest siya doon sa Oy, nawala daw ako. Hello. Am I back? Am I back?
Yes, start.
Yan.
Go ahead.
I-check ko muna ha. Ayan, nawala daw.
Okay na, turns, okay na.
Myanmar 2020, di ba? Sumali doon sa Miss Universe 2021. Remember, nag-protest siya doon sa ginawa niyang platform yung Miss Universe at saka nag-protest siya. Ayan, may warrant of arrest sa kanya doon pag umuwi siya sa kanila. Ngayon, this time, nakakuha na siya ng trabaho at naging isang refugee na sa Amerika at saka nagtatrabaho bilang isang model. Ayan. Human interest pa rin, panghuling news of the week natin that matters. The Department of Health, ito, had emphasized, sabi ng ating Department of Health, do not wait for the weekend. Huwag niyong hintayin yung weekend natin to give yourself that mental health break. Importante yung mental health din ngayon. Do not wait for the weekend to give yourself that mental health break you deserve. This is a reminder that your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Take care of yourself by doing these self-care ideas regularly. So sabi ng ating Department of Health, take care of your mental health by doing this. Do not wait for the weekend for you to take care of your mental health. Do this now regularly. Sabi, number 1, balanced diet, regular exercise, and adequate sleep. Wastong pagkain, ehersesyo, at saka tamang pagtulog. Pangalawa, take a break from gadgets. So, bitawan muna yung mga gadgets sa mga cellphones yan, and it helps you focus and enjoy the present time fully. Kasi minsan pag may gadget tayo, nakakalimutan natin. Yung oras lumalagpas na pala without us knowing na, without us doing anything. So, take a break from gadgets to fully appreciate the present time. At saka panghuli, sabi ng ating Department of Health to take care of your mental health, talk to your family and friends for an emotional support. Medyo mababa pa yung nag-comment sa ating comment section ngayon. So we will do something really amazing para dumami yung comment section before we go to Miss John Anabella. So ngayon kasing June 3, may isang importanteng tao na magbe-birthday po. Baka nakakilala kayo sa kanya. Dadami ang magpa-comment natin dyan sa comment section ngayon. Medyo, ayan. Sino pong nakakilala? Ito, importanteng music list. Tone down the music list. Medyo seryoso to. Sino pong nakakilala sa taong ito? Pangalan po niya ay Jessie Doctolero. Minsan nagdadala sa alias o palayaw na Joy Joy. Sino po yung mga kapamilya, mga kaibigan na nakakilala sa taong ito? Pag na-meet mo siya ngayong June 3, sabihin niyo pong, happy birthday. Ayan, birthday ng ating regional director ngayong June 3 po. Dadami ang comment ngayon dyan sa ating comment section. RD, happy birthday. Advance at least.
Thank you, Torns. I'm surprised.
Ayan, Yan na, seryosong seryoso yan. Yung mga nakakilala sa taong po yan, pabati naman, birthday niya ngayong June 3. Mag-31 na yata ngayong June 3. Or 32, baka naman tumawad ako. Somewhat in between 31 and 32. Ayan, kaedad lang kami. Ayan, at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I promise to be brief with my discussion but medyo mahaba yung concept ng ating case ngayon. So, pasadahan muna natin din yung mga pag-greetings. Nay, ang ating chief ng Treasury Division na hanggang ngayon, miski hindi pa nakapag-riban pero bumata ng bumata. Miss Jonana Belia, pasok po sa ating mga pag-greetings kay RD sa birthday niya ngayong June 3.
Hello, good morning everyone. Happy na birthday pa, Director Jesse.
Baka naman.
Baka naman. Pwede na sa June 3, Thursday, andito kami lahat. Isang masayang pagbati daw po para sa aming napaka-bata at napaka-energetic na regional director.
31 lang yan.
Bata pa to si Sir. Huwag kayo mag-alala.
Sige, Nay, bati na dyan sa ating comment section. Sino yung mga early streamers?
Ang pinakauna na nag-greet sa atin si Hernan Suliano, si Rosien Mantalaban ng Minglanilla, Edsel Laguda ng San Fernando, Cebu, Leonidasa si Mafranca Oira ng Dumaguete City, Nerisi Aguilar Augusto, Glicirio Lainisa ng Assessor's Office, Nabwa Camarines Sur, kay Lucia Nailon, yung acting municipal treasurer ng Santa Fe, Cebu, kay Michelle Mamitis Villafuerte ng Cebu Provincial Capitol, kay Lucille Orlina ng San Juan, Siquijor. Tong Siquijor na to, at naming puntahan pero hindi pa rin pwede dahil napaka-strict ng protocol nila. Oo, nagpaparandam, gusto na nila daw puntahan sila, bisitahan sila, pero meron pa tayong COVID. Yung kaya nga sinasabi kanina ni Attorney Tanyeka na may mga bawal. Attorney, bawal pa pala kung pwede is umiwas muna sa mga gadget. Diba?
Ayan,
matulog ng maaga para makakaroon ka ng resistensya.
At
pero
saka talk to family, yan and friends.
Kaya kailangan sa nadali natin yung ating pamilya doon sa Siquijor pero hindi pa naman pwede. So, na lang muna.
Ay, walang gadget doon kasi mahirap maghanap ng signal doon.
Mas maganda doon kasi talk to your family talaga, magbanding talaga kayo ng family. Anyway, andyan ka lang Siquijor, pag wala na si COVID, talagang dadalawin ka namin. Kay shout out kay Jimmy Gungop ng Pio Consolacion sa Municipal Assessor's Office, kay ID May Pahente Electona ng Santa Catalina Assessor's Office.
Ay, nakabakuna na yan si Miss ID May. First dose.
Ikaw, Atty, nakapagbakuna ka na si Dena.
Ay, wala pang tumurok na. Ay,
hindi ka pa
natatakot yung mga nurse tumurok.
Nako, kami malapit na tayo A4 pagkatapos yung mga government employee.
Yes,
malapit
A4,
na tayong maturukan. So, magantay-antay lang mga government employee, malapit na yung turok. Shout out kay Mary Sid Caballero, Edwin Villanueva at Emma Go. So, dito pa yan sa Treasury. Mamaya, andyan na, balik tayo, puntahan natin yung admin, ha? Para makita nyo sila ng personal. Okay, sige.
Okay.
Back to you, Attorney.
Thank you, Nay. Si Miss June Abilia po, ang tunay pangalan niya, Junan. So, yung June, siguro naman dahil birthday niya tuwing June. So, advance happy birthday din, Miss June Abilia, at saka yung mga kasamahan natin dyan. Miss Brenda, lahat. Si Sir Noel, di ba June din yan? Si Sir Norbert di ba? Tuwing June kasi pinapasarado namin po yung Iscario Street kung saan nandoon yung office namin kasi ang daming nagbe-birthday, pati na ngayon yung RD. So baka po magkanda na traffic dahil po yan sa birthday nila Jonan at saka ni RD. Ayan. Biro lang, baka wala nang dumaan sa Iscario ngayon. Magta-traffic. Ayan po. Okay, tuloy-tuloy na po tayo ngayon kasi medyo intermittent yung connection ng ating internet, both from this end and of course from our regional director and the office doon po si Miss Jonah Nabila. Medyo mahina yung signal ngayon. Ayan. So as promised, we will finish this one on responsibility, accountability, and liability. Ladies and gentlemen, election team, please allow me to share my screen. Yan, at saka I'll go directly to the principle to the that we will be discussing today. Okay, remember Arias Doctrine, di ba? Di ba Arias Doctrine daw? Sinasabi yung mga head of offices magiging hindi necessarily magiging liable sila if ang by mere signing of the document. Ayan, sabi kasi ng Supreme Court they have to rely to rely also on the works of their staff. So hindi imposible naman daw na isa-isahin yung mga trabaho. So we will discuss that later on. But there were some quarters saying that this case that I will be discussing right now effectively medyo nag-divert doon sa Arias Doctrine. Ano kaya ito? Diba sa Arias Doctrine hindi daw magiging liable yung head offices by mere signing the document daw doon sa mga documents doon. So kasi daw sa dami ng trabaho imposible naman yata daw ma-review lahat. So itong case na ito medyo nagda-divert daw doon sa principle na in-establish ng Arias Doctrine. So what I'm saying is that this case, ito, yung citation na lang yung ipapakita natin kasi nga saan ba yung citation? Mamaya-maya pakita natin yung citation. Yan, nag-overshoot yata yung aking okay. This actually concerns about accumulated unliquidated cash advance. Please, production team, pag hindi nakita yung share screen ko, please feedback in our group chat para I can proceed. Okay, now, I'll show you the citation. Medyo bago-bago, relatively bago-bago. So, if ever mayroon, luma na siya kasi 2013, magte-10 years na yata ito. So, 2023, magte-10 years. Ngayon, 8 pa lang yata. So, if ever nag-evolve kasi yung mga Supreme Court decisions, if ever you have encountered mga case din na medyo nagda-divert din sa principle na ini-establish dito or na bago na ito, or mayroong kasalukuyang ginagawa dito ang Supreme Court, please comment on our comment section. So ano bang ating pagtatalakayin ngayon na bakit sinasabi kong this effectively or parang nagsumasalungat siya doon sa Arias Doctrine na sinasabi po natin. Again, why am I not mentioning the title or the caption of the case? Because we are nationwide viewership, baka po na may nakakilala sa kanila. So yung GR number na lang po, visit na lang po kayo doon sa Supreme Court website. Anyway, available naman po doon kung gusto nyong malaman yung lahat ng facts and circumstances tungkol sa kasong ito. Okay? Accumulated unliquidated cash advances po ito resulting to misappropriation. So, anong mangyayari? For example, sino bang magiging liable pag mayroong cash advances na hindi na liquidate, nag-release. Kasali ba si treasurer doon? Tanong po natin, kasali po ba si treasurer doon sa liability? If ever yung mga cash advances hindi na liquidate, tapos cash advance uli, so nag-accumulate siya hanggang lumubo, hanggang napunta ng 9 million plus yung shortage, sinong dapat sisihin? We will revisit muna. Ano pa yung mga rules ng ating mga signatures doon na appearing documents? Ano yung mga importance at significance? First, of course, sino ba yung pumipirma as to legality at propriety of the cash advance or the drawing of the cash or the check, if ever? As to the propriety and legality, of course, ang mga requesting office po yung pumipirma. Yan, legality, propriety of the cash advance or the disbursement or the purchase made, di ba? Si requesting office. As to appropriation, mayroon bang ordinansa nag-appropriate nito? Mayroon bang kasali ba ito sa budget? Si budget officer yung nagpipirma. So ano naman yung role ng accounting? Yung accounting sa office, di ba? Sila po yung pumipirma kung mayroong completeness of the document at saka kung na-liquidate na ba yung prior cash advances. Si treasurer, ano naman yung role si treasurer? Pumipirma po doon siya sa cheque aside from the mayor or the administrator, whichever the case. At saka yung certification niya na available yung funds, mayroong funds yan. By the way, si accounting pumipirma din na mayroong allotment doon, mayroong pundo na naka-allot po dito, budgetary allotment. So si treasurer pumipirma lang doon sa availability of funds. Tama? So, kung hindi tama, comment kayo agad. So, tungkol dito sa liquidation of cash advances made, sinong nag-lookout? Sinong dapat may lookout? Diba, sabay natin, lookout pa rin ng accounting's office. Yan, nagpipirma siya as to completeness of the document and as to the liquidation also. Diba? Budgetary allotment also. So, yung lookout niya, tinitingnan niya na liquidate na kaya yung prior cash advances. Otherwise, hindi yan mag-i-issue ng voucher for that kuan pag hindi na liquidate yung prior cash advances. So, in this case, pag yung mga kina-cash advance tungkol po doon sa mga payment of payroll money, doon sa mga job order or whatever, basta payroll money siya, so dapat bang maisali si treasurer or even the mayor or even the administrator kung siya mang yung pumipirma doon sa mga cheque sa cash advance? Sabi po natin, sana hindi kasi nagsacertify lang naman po siya sa availability of funds. So, proceed. Ano bang nangyari kasi? So, dito, parang nilahad ng Supreme Court through the facts na linawan dito sa kasong ito. Ni-mention ko na po yung citation. Pag mayroon pong development or evolution of this principle na in-establish dito sa Supreme Court case na to, please comment in our comment section para naman ma-bring ito attention natin sa ating mga live streamers diyan. So sa amin ng Supreme Court, usually ito po kasi yung procedure in the cash advances for payment of mga disbursement of funds at lalo-lalo na po yung mga payroll money. So first, there is a written request for cash advance made by the paymaster, si yung nagsisweldo, who will then submit it to the cash division chief pag mayroong cash division chief yung treasurer's office for his or her approval. And once the cash division chief approves the request, she affixes her initials to the voucher and pino-forward po yan sa treasurer. So ang nangyari, parang requesting office yata si treasurer dito kasi bakit siya po yung nagpo-forward, nagsisignature, nag-approve po doon sa voucher na at least yung request po for the payment of this pangsweldo po ba ito? So tingnan natin. So by signing, the division chief, the cash division chief and the treasurer certify that the expense or cash advance is necessary. Ayun yung propriety, di ba? So parang ang nangyari yata dito sa cash advance for the payment of mga salaries ang requesting office yata treasurers. Ganun ba yung nangyari? So the treasurer daw certify as to the necessity, the lawfulness, the legality, and that in court and the directs of provision. So tuloy-tuloy lang po tayo. Thereafter, pagkatapos po doon sa treasurer's office, galing sa paymaster, remember, division chief ng cash division chief at saka in-approve, certify ng treasurer as legal, necessary, pumupunta po yung dokumento doon sa accountant's office for processing on pre-audit. Ano ba yung sinecertify at saka ng accounting office, ng accountant? First of course, she certifies that there is adequate and available funding or budgetary allotment. May allotment na nakalinya po dyan para walang realignment. Yan. That the expenditures are properly certified and supported by documents. Kumpleto po yung mga documents po doon. And ito, importante, the prior cash advances had been liquidated and accounted for before proceeding with this another cash advance. So remember the 3 rules of accounting, and also remember yung budget office, yung mayroong appropriation ordinance to that effect. Now, pagkatapos na pong mapirmahan yung mga ma-certified po yung vouchers tungkol doon sa mga lampasan nating mga significance of their signatures doon, ang chief ng cashier, pino-forward po yun, na gumagawa po ng check, and she affixes her initials to the check which the treasurer then signs the check. Diba? Pinipirmahan yung treasurer yung check. At saka in behalf of the mayor, si administrator nag-approve ng voucher and countersigns the checks. So what then happen? The voucher, the advice, and the checks are then returned to the cash division. Tinatanggap po yung check, acknowledge the receipt of the check for the release for encashment. Kasi ito po ay cash advance para po doon sa payroll money. Siguro mga casuals o job order ito. Kasi bakit cash advance? Okay. Now, a team from the Commission on Audit conducted a surprise cash count on March 5, 1998, and it revealed a shortage of 9,810,752,000 pesos. 0.60 from 1995 and 1998 from the cash and accounts of the Chief of Cash Division, diba siya yung nag-prepare ng check, the City Administrator, the City Treasurer, and the City Accountant. So ito yung parang pinupunto ng COA, ito yung mga taong nagiging liable sana, sabi ng COA. Now, the team found out that the above personnel failed to follow the mentioned procedure, thus facilitating the loss of more than 9 million pesos. Specifically, sinasabi po ng COA, there were irregularities in the grant of utilization and liquidation of cash advances, and the shortages were concealed. And inaccurate and misleading pieces of information were included in the financial statement. So parang sinasabi ng COA, the irregularities were manifested in the following. The additional cash advances, ito yung pinapunto natin po dito, were granted even if prior or previous cash advances had not been liquidated, and the cash advance vouchers for salaries were not supported. Yan, i-remove ko muna yung aking screen, yung balakid sa aking screen. Cash advance vouchers for salaries were not supported by payrolls or list of payees. Nagka-cash advance ka for payroll money pero wala pong payroll pala, or list of payees man lang. And the cash advance for salaries and wages were not liquidated. Ito yun po yun yung pinupunto ng COA. Parang bakit kayo nag-grant ng additional cash advance hindi pa na-liquidate yung prior cash advances. So moving on, the report of the Commission on Audit stated that they not only signed and certified, approved the cash advances vouchers, but also signed and countersigned the checks. Despite these deficiencies mentioned, yung mga prior cash advances hindi na liquidate, at saka yung hindi tugma yung cash advance so payroll, wala ngang payroll na inattach or list of the payees in violation of these following rules. Ito, yun na nga, additional cash advances, ano ba yung violation nila? Were granted even if the prior previous cash advances were not liquidated in violation of Section 89 of PD 1445 and Section 339 of RL 7160. Ito yung, di ba? Kung Lubitex yata, 7160 Local Government Code. Okay. Now, pupuntahan natin mamaya-maya kung ano yung mga defense, isa-isa ng Chief of Cash Division, defense ng ating defense ng Treasurer, defense ng City Administrator at ng Accounting Office. Remember, the issue at points is whether or not liable ba yung Treasurer or yung Administrator on behalf of the Mayor doon sa mga cash advances made na hindi nag-liquidate ng prior cash advances, nagiging accumulated po yung mga money and liquidated cash advances resulting to a 9 million plus shortage dahil sa payroll money na hindi na liquidate. Ladies and gentlemen, before tayo magtuloy-tuloy, please comment na ano kaya ang magiging liability ng treasurer if ever. Di ba nagse-certify lang naman siya as to availability of funds? Sino po yung mag-look out whether or not na-liquidate na yung prior cash advances? Di ba sabi natin accounting office, at saka anong liability ng city administrator o sign in behalf of the mayor, pati na rin si chief ng cash division. Ladies and gentlemen, before tayo mag-proceed, pasensya, medyo pinaspasan ko po yung pag-discuss natin because we promise to end this discussion, responsibility, accountability, and liability in this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, tingnan na natin yung mga pag-ratings at mga pag-comment dyan sa ating comment section. Puntahan natin pag mayroon tayong internet connectivity dyan sa office. Puntahan natin si Ms. Jonan Abilia para sa mga pasigaw palabas. Nay, pasok, Nay!
Hello! Maayong buntag again. Isang sigaw palabas para kay Nisa Kompleto ng Balamban, kay Jen Formentera ng Madridejos, kay Cristina Mons ng San Francisco, Cebu, kay Arsinia Paig, Geraldine Tumulak ng Sugod, Cebu, kay Rafi GL ng Region 9, kay Marilo Musa Herrera ng Leticia Ab Cabillo ng Dumanhog, kay Vilma Dimapi Zaldua ng Tremehillo. Ito po si Ma'am Vilma is bago to siyang appointed na municipal assessor ng San Remigio. Sir Joy, appointed na si Ma'am. Si Heidi Macapobre Corbo ng Toledo, si Virgilia Rufo Opone ng Assessor's Office ng Sibunga, kay Lerio de los Reyes, kay Bads, kay Dulce Sanchez ng Central Office, kay Grace Louie Buong Galing ng Region 4, kay Rai Bido ng Central Office. Isang magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat at thank you for watching Kapihan sa PLTN.
Thank you, Nay.
Shout
Puntahan
out
natin niyo
din
po yung
kay
ating
Ruel
regional director na
Acer
busy-busy
Pagpuli.
kaka-reply sa mga greetings na happy birthday sa kanya. Medyo aligaga doon sa cellphone niya. Medyo ang daming bumabati, medyo ang daming naniningil. Kailan daw, kailan daw. Ayan, Ardi, baka may mga sigaw palabas ka dyan?
Yes, Lord. Maraming nanonood from the BLGA family, especially from the central office. We have Ma'am Osang Salvador.
Ay, good morning.
Rai, si Sir Val Tome, si Vince Sanchez sa Region 5, si Alden Porog, yung friendly Julie si
Ulis.
Region 9. Okay? So thank you so much for your greetings. It means a lot.
Rafi.
Kahit walang handa. Pero
Yan.
fights. Thank you, Torns.
Yes, Ardi, ingat-ingat ka po sa birthday mo kasi kaka-31 mo pa lang. Yung 31 kasi na age na yan, medyo dapat mag-ingat yung 31, yung mga 31. Ako din magti-31 pa din, kaya ingat-ingat ako. Ayan, good morning daw sa mga spicy boys. Sino kaya? Ayan, mention na ito ni Ardi, sina Rafi Galo, Sir Rafi, sina Vince Sanchez, sina si Paula Abdon, si Ma'am JB Colberto, ka-chatmate ko ito. Si Alden Porog. I-greet ko rin po yung member ng aming focus group discussion, although I'm not at liberty to divulge kung ano po yung focus group discussion sa technical working group namin ni Ardi. Sina Engineer Ricky, yung provincial assessor ng Bataan, si Engineer Romy Dison, Pangasinan yata yun, Ardi, Pampanga ba yun? Pampanga, yan. Good morning po sa inyong dalawa, engineer, yung mga katrabaho po namin sa isang focus group discussion. Hindi po namin i-reveal ano po yung tinatrabaho namin for lack of authority to mention that part. Okay, now, proceed tayo. Di ba, tanong ko, magiging liable ba si treasurer doon sa mga accumulated unliquidated cash advances miski nag-certify lang siya na available yung funds? Di ba? Ano po yung cash advance? Nagka-cash advance po yung cash division, yung parang paymaster, para pangbayad po doon sa mga salaries yata. So, hanggang permi ng cash advance, hindi na-liquidate yung mga prior cash advance, nakita ng COA, this is a violation of PD. Ayun, nag-mention yung COA na violation of existing rules and regulation. Pati Section 339 yata yun ng local government code na kailangang i-liquidate muna po yung mga prior cash advances before you grant another cash advance na naman. Pangalawa, nakita ng COA na parang walang naka-attach na payroll doon na. So magiging liable ba sina treasurer at saka yung sino yung personnel doon sa treasurer's office? Now, ang defense po kasi ng chief ng cash division ng treasurer's office, sabi niya, I could not be liable because it is not my responsibility to examine the cash book. Remember, nagiging accumulated yung mga cash advances. She pointed out ito, tinuturo po niya ang city accountant at the city auditor as the ones responsible for determining whether the paymaster had existing unliquidated cash advances. For his part, the city treasurer averred that the city accountant was the approving authority in granting cash advances. So ano po yung sinicertify ng city accountant? Completeness of document, budgetary allotment, at saka yung liquidation of prior cash advances. So in effect, sinasabi po as a defense of the city treasurer, sinasabi po ng city treasurer, the city accountant is the approving authority in the granting of cash advances. It is his lookout. Sabi ng city treasurer, when he signed the vouchers, he merely relied on the accountant's certification that the cash division chief had already liquidated his cash advances. Besides, he said, the treasurer, he had already delegated the function of determining whether the amount stated in the disbursement voucher was equal to the net pay. Parang hindi ko naman yata kasalanan po yung pag-determine kung equal po yung cash advance doon sa magiging payroll sana. Sabi niya, dinelegate ko na po yun. Di ba? Parang Arias doctrine yung defense niya. Now, the city accountant admitted for his part that the cash advances were granted even if there were no liquidation. Ayan, inadmit talaga ng ating city accountant that there were no liquidations so that salaries could be paid on time. Because cash advances usually overlap with the previous one. Medyo nag-overlapping po kasi yung mga cash advances. So po sa dami, bakang hindi na daw niya keep track. So he or she admitted that there were no liquidation. And additionally, kasi yung mga salaries minsan hindi paid on time. Additionally, she acknowledged that when she affixed her signatures to the vouchers despite of the non-attachment of payrolls, she was aware that there are still existing unliquidated cash advance. Ayan, i-admit talaga na alam niya na mayroong mga prior unliquidated cash advances. For his part naman, sabi ng city administrator, remember, 4 sila dito, the city administrator claimed that when he affixed his signature, parang approving at saka doon sa cheque, he was not aware of this any anomaly. Doon lang daw yun sa baba nangyayari yung mga unliquidated, yung mga walang payroll. So, nag-overlapan yung cash advances hanggang nagkaka-short na ng 9.8 million something. Allegedly, sabi ng city administrator, he only signed on the basis of the signatures of the treasurers and the accountant. Parang nag-rely. So, parang alias doctrine rin. Notwithstanding, an information were filed charging the petitioner in violation of Section 3E of RA 3019 or the Corrupt Practices of Public Officers Act, causing any undue injury to any party including the government or giving any private and so on and so forth. So, yung kaso ay tungkol sa RA 3019, Anti-Corrupt and Graft Practices Act, Section 3 thereof. And sinasabi po doon sa case na ito po yung mga essential elements. So, for the interest of time, i-do away natin. Anyway, mababasa nyo muna man dyan. Now, these laws and regulations, sabi po ng charges, state that the cash advance can only be disbursed doon sa PD 1445 at saka RA 7160 section, yung section sa local government code. I missed that part. Cash advances can only be disbursed for a legally authorized specific purpose and cannot be given to officials whose prior or previous cash advances have not been settled or properly accounted for. And again, reiterated cash advance should also be equal to the net amount
Cebu
paid.
City, Cebu Province, ug nila ugla-pula pa lang submit na ko ana.
Ano ba sabi ng Supreme Court tungkol po
diri
dito?
mga gipangayo nila.
Mga defense ng ating mga respondent. Remember, ang defense ng ating City Treasurer, nag-delegate ko na po yung mga cash advance na yan.
Umauto.
Sakto ba yun? Yan. At saka sabi ng
uslog gid ato siyang wibis nga kanang hasta na tungkon.
Ayan. I can hear, nag-overlap din yung voice namin ni Miss.
Nasayop lang siguro sila.
Puntahan na nga natin. So, at this juncture, steady muna po tayo doon sa defenses raised. Yung pinakapupunto ko, nagsicertify lang si Treasurer ng availability of funds. Magiging liable po ba siya doon? So, balik tayo po doon sa mga pa-shoutout, sa mga sigaw palabas galing kay Miss June Anabilia, ating Chief ng Treasury Division, na medyo nagiging intermittent din yung connection ng internet nila doon sa office. Naipasok na para sa mga pag-greetings.
Magandang umaga. Balik po tayo sa ating sigaw palabas para kay Mary Hako Salim Libre ng Toledo, kay Paterno Bagarinaw Alogon ng Kandihay, Bohol, kay Cirilo Amazuna ng Dalaget, Cebu. Sabi po ni Cesar Palma Sabas Jr., Buenos Dias, RD Joy, Attorney Tanyeka, and Familia BLGF. Nagatanaw kanunay ang danaw. Espanyol man di ni si Sir Cesar. Buenos Dias, amigos. Kay Winilin Desierdo Duhay Lungsod, nanonood po siya. Shout out kay Geraldine Tabangay Tan ng El Nido, Palawan. Nakaabot tayo Victor, may tayo from El Nido. Punta tayo ng El Nido pag maano na. Medyo wala na si COVID. Ang
pag ako po'y naturukan na, ay pupunta talaga ako doon ay.
Wag niyong kaligtaan na puntahan si El Nido pag kayo ay naturukan. Shout out po kay Rosana Salvador sa po. Advance happy birthday Sir Joy Bitonio Doctolero. Sabi naman ni Marilo Arante ng Aloginsan, Cebu, good morning. isang malakas na sigaw palabas galing kay Ria Rumas ng Clarin Bohol. Siya po yung assessor sa Clarin na napaka entertaining. Small but terrible ito si Ma'am, lahat nasa kanya na. Kung anong hanapin nyo andyan sa kanya, except COVID. Parang hindi pa ito nadapuan ng COVID si Ma'am.
Contact tracer din
Wala
si
sa
Ma'am.
kanya yan.
Commodity kayo.
Isang sigaw palabas para kay Aileen Coliflores Parado ng Konsolasyon, kay Milagros Espinosa Matotes ng Santa Fe, Cebu, kay Cristina Vallega Patalinghog ng Tanhay City, kay Julie Santos, kay Bernadette Timonio
Si Ma'am
ng
Julie,
Madinay Negros
si Ma'am
Oriental.
Julie, ngayon lang yan lumilitaw
At kay Glenberg de la Peña, ang ating champion sa Talibon, Bohol. Back to you, attorney.
Yes, Adi. At saka balikan natin, medyo balikan po natin yung kaka-31 lang ngayong June 3. 30 pa po siya ngayon. Pasensya na, medyo nag-overshoot yung estimate ko sa age. 30 kasi June 3 pa yung birthday niya. So, June 3 pa siya magte-31. Adi, may mga pa-shoutout ka dyan?
Yung mga natin, yung mga taga Sikihor. Shout out sa mga taga Sikihor na talagang gustong-gusto na mapuntahan ng BLGF team. So, defer muna natin kasi merong bagong protocol requirement. Pag matapos na pong maturukan si Miss Junan, si Atty. Tanyika, baka naman. Kasi, and also to our friends in Negros Oriental. Okay? Baka naman pwede nyo na kaming papasokin dyan. Okay? Hello. Thank you so much, Sarge.
Remember, RD, Miss ID May, yung ating assessor yata ng Santa Catalina, nakapagbakuna siya, contact tracer na. So, medyo ingat-ingat din po kayo dyan. Thank you. Ayan, thank you, RD. Babalikan namin ni mamaya. Okay? Sinasabi ni Miss Junan kanina, napaka-accommodating yung aming city municipal assessor ng Clarin, si Ma'am Rhea Ramos. Ano yung pangalan niya sa Facebook? Basta, nung nagpunta ako ng Bohol, Romas daw, si Ma'am Rhea Romas sa Clarin. Nagpunta ako ng Bohol, ma'am. Remember this? Pagka sanang nidunggo sa Tagalog pagkarating ko doon sa pier, talagang sinusundo ako ni Ma'am Rhea. Hindi ko nakita sino kayang susundo sa akin dito sa Bohol. Naka-Fortuner si Ma'am doon. Ang laki-laki ng sasakyan niya. Miski, sabi ni Miss Junan, small but terrible. So, nung nakaupo na ako doon sa sasakyan niya, may tumutunog kasi wala kaming Fortuner Wala kaming, hanggang multicab lang kami dito sa Cebu may tumutunog, sabi niya, Attorney, kailangan mong mag-wear ng seatbelt. Kaya pala, parang nagagalit yung Fortuner niya pag hindi kami naka-seatbelt. Good morning, Ma'am Rhea. Ayan. Mabuti yung pag-greetings, may mga anecdote din. Adi po, kumusta yung napunta kayo ng Bohol? Have you met Ma'am Rhea?
Not yet. Baka naman mapagpunta namin sa Bohol, makikita ko na yung sinasabi yung small but terrible na Rhea Romas Lipang. In fact, she's one of our finalists for the most assessor. Third, may nagpapabati lang pala yung Spice Boys. Yung sa Region 10, si Paolo, si Region 9, sino ba yun? Si Rafi. Tapos si Vince ng Region 5. Saka lahat ng laos ng BLGF daw.
Aldin Purog.
Sir Aldin Purog. Okay? And tinatawag na kong Cardo Delisay. Ewan ko lang sa kanila ba't itong mga spicy boys talaga. Ito talagang si Julie yung pasimura nito. Thank you, Terms.
Yes, Adi. Thank you, Adi. Spicy boys. Ayan, ha? Mga maanghang na lalaki. Nanganib yung BTS ngayon. Yung mga army, di ba? May mga fans club yung BTS na army. Nanganganib kayo. Mayroon ng bagong grupo po. P-pop yan. Pinoy pop. Sina Spicy Boys. Mga maanghang. Hindi maasim, ha? Iba yung asim, ha? Maanghang na kalalakihan ng BLGF. May ganyan pa. Okay, now. Balik po tayo sa ating principle in discussion through this Supreme Court case. Now, hindi po tinanggap ng Supreme Court yung mga defense ng ating cash advance, ng ating cash division unit, ng ating accounting, ng mga city treasurer at saka yung city administrator. Sabi po kasi ng Supreme Court, these facts, yung mga nailahad natin, yung mga accumulated cash advances at saka yung walang supporting payroll, show that the petitioners failed to act in accordance with their respective duties in the grant of cash advances. Moreover, sinabi po ng Supreme Court, the repeated, parang paulit-ulit kasi hanggang nag-accumulate ng 9 million, they have repeatedly failed to do so. In fact, the Chief of Cash Division has signed 294 requests for cash advance. Ang dami po kasi ng requests ng cash advance. Paulit-ulit po yung overlapping hanggang nag-accumulate yung unliquidated cash advances. Mayroong 11 disbursement vouchers at saka 7 checks. The Treasurer's cash advance request and 299 disbursement vouchers na ang napirmahan ng Treasurer. So yung po yung pinupunto ng Supreme Court dito, paulit-ulit. The city accountant in fact approved 303 disbursement vouchers and signed 355. Ano yung 355 checks? Pumipirma pala yung city accountant dun sa checks. Saan banda? Basta. All these acts demonstrate that the petitioners, as correctly found by the Sandigan Bayan, were guilty of gross negligence amounting to bad faith. May bad faith pa. Gross negligence ay medyo okay na sana yun. Kasi nga, paulit-ulit yung kasalanan pero may bad faith. Ibig sabihin, kasali ka doon sa nangyayaring shortage. Hindi ba sabi nila, hindi naman kami doon nagkilabang? Wala nga kaming alam. So, sabi ng Supreme Court, bad faith does not simply connote bad judgment or simple negligence. It imports a dishonest purpose. Teka muna, may nag-message. May lakad pala kami ngayon. So, mag-end tayo ng it connotes bad judgment or simple negligence. It imports a dishonest purpose or some moral obloquy. Ang hirap mag-pronounce. Unconscious, bakit kasi litagay dyan? Conscious doing of a wrong, a breach of a known duty due to some motive or interest. Parang sinasabi ng Supreme Court, may motive kayata doon sa nangyaring shortage. May ill will kayata doon. May partition kayata doon sa nature of fraud. Parang ganon. Again, sinasabi po ng ating treasurer at saka ng cash ng chief. Wala po kaming kinalaman dyan. Pero hindi po tinanggap ng Supreme Court. They will were aware of their responsibilities, sabi ng Supreme Court, before they affects this signature. Kasi minsan, yung parang sa Bisaya, inato na lang yung trabaho ba? Yung parang sarili-sarili, parang atin na lang. So, hindi na nag-i-strict. So, sabi ng Supreme Court, hindi yan tama. You are aware of your responsibilities before affixing your signatures on the cash advance vouchers. Yet, you choose to disregard the requirements laid down by the law and the rules and regulation by approving the vouchers despite the incomplete documents or information therein, and despite the previous unliquidated cash advances, the absence of payroll to support the cash requested, and the disparity between the requested cash advance and the total net pay. Parang sabi ng Supreme Court, hindi naman yata pwede na alam nyo pala yan, na mayroong disparity, mayroong unliquidated cash advance, di ba? Nag-admit yung city accountant. Yes, alam ko na may unliquidated cash advance, sabi ng treasurer. Diniligate ko na yung parang magtugma ba yung cash advance sa purpose at saka sa payroll. Diniligate ko na po yan sa cash division chief. Sabi ng Supreme Court, no. You are well aware of your signature, of your responsibilities before you affix your signature. Ito yung sabing common practice na po kasi yan sa amin sa LGU. Parang yan na po kasi yung ginagawa namin. Now, sabi ng Supreme Court, that is worse. What is worse is that they continue to plead their innocence allegedly for the reason that it was common practice in their office not to follow the law and rules and regulations to the letter. Parang defense nila, common practice na po kasi namin yan. Sabi ng Supreme Court, dinidepensa nyo pa yan? Yung hindi mag-follow ng law, rules, and regulations to the letter? For them to resort that defense is preposterous. Parang nagagalit tuloy yung Supreme Court. Considering that as public employees, they are required to perform and discharge these duties with highest degree of excellence, professionalism, intelligence, and skill, and the law and regulations are clear and do not provide for exemption. A cash advance request cannot be approved and disbursed without passing through several offices. Di ba alam natin kung saan yun dumadaan? including those of this respondent and this time the petitioner. It is outrageous that they would have us to believe that they were not in conspiracy. Ito yung mahirap. Parang sinasabi pang Supreme Court, you were in conspiracy. Kayong lahat na mga respondent, parang may ganoong conspiracy. When over hundreds of vouchers were signed and approved by them in the course of 30 months, ang dami po kasing napirmahan in the course of 30 months without their noticing these irregularities that should have prompted them to refuse to sign the vouchers. Parang sinasabi ng Supreme Court, imposible namang yatang hindi nyo nalaman na mayroong irregularities doon. Ang dami nyong napipirmahan and you were well aware. Clearly, ito yung medyo masaklap. You were in cahoots in granting the cash advances too. Yung payroll master. Ito sikat na sikat dito sa amin kung sino to. Medyo pinaghahanap pa po siya. Clearly, they were in cahoots in the granting the cash advances too. By these acts, the petitioner defrauded the government of such a large sum of money that should not have been disbursed in the first place. Had they been circumspect in performing their functions. Not only were the petitioners unified in defrauding the government, but they were also unified in not reporting. Hindi pa nag-report. The negligence of their cohorts. Yan, pinagbintangan pa ng Supreme Court na you were in cahoots, you were in cohorts. Because of their own negligence, miski hindi daw nanginabang. Yun yung depensa nila hindi nanginabang. Pero sabi ng Supreme Court, you were in cohorts by your own negligence. The treasurer himself admitted knowing that there were unliquidated cash advances. Alam mo palang may cash advances na hindi na liquidate. Yet, you signed the vouchers. Ito yung parang deviation din ng Arias Doctrine. He also failed to inform the other officials that they should not sign them. Trabaho pala yun ng treasurer. To inform other officials that there were prior cash advances unliquidated and to say to them not to sign the vouchers and tolerate their negligence when they affects their signatures thereto. Petitioners all knew that they were irregularities in the vouchers. These they failed to correct one another because they themselves signed the vouchers despite the glaring irregularities therein. Now, ito yung sinasabi kong deviation from the Arias Doctrine. Sinasabi ng Supreme Court dito sa case nito. Unlike in Arias, yung Arias Doctrine na case, where there were no reasons for the heads of offices to further examine each voucher in detail, petitioners herein, by virtue of the duty given to them by law as well as by rules and regulation, had the responsibility to examine each voucher. Doon sa Arias, hindi rin-require ng Supreme Court to examine each and every vouchers, yung details doon. Dito, siya nasabi ng Supreme Court, you had the responsibility to examine each voucher to ascertain whether it was proper to sign it in order to approve and disperse the cash advances. So, yun po yung sinasabi ng Supreme Court natin dito. Sinasabi ng Supreme Court, ang dami po naman kasi ng cash advances, walang mga liquidation, wala pa po yung mga ganito, ganyan. May message kasi yung production manager namin. Baka naman, akala ko ano yung baka naman, yun palang check namin po. Ayan. So, yan po yung nangyari po sa case na yun, ladies and gentlemen. Hindi tinanggap ng Supreme Court yung defense ng treasurer na hindi ko po yung kasalanan, hindi ko po yung lockout, yung mayroong prior unliquidated cash advances. In fact, sabi ng Supreme Court, you were clearly in cohorts with these people kasi po sa dami ng instances na nangyari ito at saka alam nyo pala na mayroong unliquidated advances, pumipirma pa kayo. Yan, deviation of the Arias Doctrine. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go to the doctrines and principles pagkatapos po ng Supreme Court case na yan, papasadahan na naman natin yung mga pa-shoutout, sigaw, palabas at mga pag-greeting sa ating nagtuturn 31 lang na regional director. Pasok po, Ms. Jonah Nabelia para sa mga pa-shoutouts.
Isang maligayang pagbati sa kaarawan ng aming direktor na si Sir Joy Joy. Happy birthday, sir! Sabi ni Ramel Archaga, Bal President is watching today's episode. At taga-Bohol po yan. Isang sigaw palabas kay Josefina Talisaya ng Maria Sikihor, kay Jeff Bahaw, good day to BLGF7 family and to all listeners and viewers of BLGF7 online tapihan. Sabi naman po ni Sir Arsenio Puduta ng Albuquerque, Bohol, Maadyong buntag. Isang shout out para kay Marie Ave, kay Horace Sebastian, yung First Lady of Tacorong City. Malapit, madam, malapit na ang June.
June. Bukas
Ito na
June na.
yung, at ito na
Junan,
yung,
parang
tanim.
pinakakaba mo naman ako ah.
Pag
June na bukas.
malapit na, madam, isang magandang, isang napakalakas na sigaw palabas po kay Romeo Ramosa II,
Yan. Siya lang ang
kay
saka lang.
June, kay Renato Panoy ng Samar, ano ba yun, Talbayog ba yun sila?
Albayog.
At
Albayog.
Julis, nag-asa man mo, Julis. Oh. Kay Attorney Rical M. Oliva, kay
Ayan,
Assisting
si-
Officer ng Madrid, kay Reggie Zinya Imbol, kay Zandayan Linlin ng Maso Kandihay, Bohol. Kay Mercedita Tabalok, isang sigaw palabas pa rin kay Colin Andalis Noynay ng Midilien, kay Marila, kay Yudisa Rakadag ng Kamsor, kay E.G. Orbita ng Paso, Camarines Sur, kay Bernadette Tobalia Obanyana ng Santa Catalina, kay Eugenia Montanes Dayag, isang top fan from Sibunga, kay Paulo Arrojado, kay Jed Chin, kay Julie Canoy, shout out kay Alan Suaso, kay June Fajardo. Isang shout out pa rin na napakalakas-lakas para sa City Treasurer ng Toledo City, kay Sir June Rivera, kay Ate Bren para sa aking hair and makeup. Isang shout out kay Ana Teresa Balani, kay Sarah Jane Mitante, at kay Bingbing Fontanusa. Balik sa iyo, attorney.
Lord, may mag-birthday din pala this month. Nakasamahan natin from Mandaue City. Si Attorney Regal Oliva will be celebrating also his birthday within this month. Happy advance happy birthday, returns, Attorney
Yung
Oliva.
celebrator di ay si attorney.
Yes.
Yan, Ardi, para mag-comment, Ardi. Parang 33 na yan. Mas matanda sa'yo. Para mag-comment ulit dyan. Ito-troll natin. Kung si
Oo.
Ardi 31, si Atty. Regal parang 33 na yan.
Dapat mag-comment siya sa tunay niyang edad, ano? Dapat mag-comment dito sa comment box. Turns, Attorney Oliva, magbe-birthday ka na pala. So you are older than the two of us, ni Attorney Tanika, by 1 year. Pero kung if you contest to our declaration, pwede kang
Comment
mag-comment. If you protest. Happy birthday, advance happy birthday to Attorney Regal Oliva, the City Treasurer of Mandaue City. Torns, may pangutanan din sa
Yeah,
chat
right.
box. You may answer or pwede siguro i-defer
Yeah,
natin.
go ahead.
From the City Treasurer of Dumaguete City, how about the confidential fund attorney? So what are they going to do? Okay.
Yung intelligence fund yata yan, may specific rules po na tayo dyan. So what about confidential fund, ma'am? Comment para magawa natin ng topic talaga, mag-invite tayo ng mga treasurer na sanay mag-liquidate ng confidential fund. Kasi ang pagkakaalam ko, hindi yan nililiquidate dito sa local level yan. Parang may ibang liquidation din yan doon. So, hindi pa
So,
tayo.
pero pwede na natin pag-usapan dito para mag-guide din natin yung mga ibang treasurer, lalo na yung mga bagong appointed na treasurers natin.
Yes.
Okay. So,
In the near
please
future.
comment, Ma'am Tres, Christina, our City Treasurer of Dumaguete City. So, please comment down what particular area about confidential fund you would like to be taken up during the kapihan with Attorney
Yes.
Tanika. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Casey. Kasi about liquidation yung pinag-uusapan natin. So, tanong siguro mo ni Ma'am Casey, paano mag-liquidate ng confidential at saka intelligence fund? Kasi by nature of the confidentiality of the intelligence fund, parang may ibang rule po dyan sa liquidation process na yan. So, parang iba yung prosesong dinadaanan. So, mag-invite tayo in the future na mga actual practitioners ng mga city at mga municipal treasurers na nagli-liquidate ng mga intelligence fund na yan, di ba? Kasi delikado po naman kasi kung out in the public yung mga liquidation ng intelligence fund, malalaman yung purpose, medyo confidential nga. Di ba? So, di-discuss natin in the near future. Mag-invite tayo. Siguro si Eternal Regal, ito, nakaliquidate ng intelligence fund pa yan. Hanggang ngayon, confidential pa yung age ni Atty. Regal. Ang alam ko lang, mas matanda siya sa amin. Ayan. Ayan, before we end with this discussion, papasadahan ko yung mga existing doctrines and principles. Again, kuha ko po ito sa libro ni Commissioner Orsal. Anyway, ito yung medyo alam na po natin yung mga doctrines and principles about responsibility, accountability, and liability na ito. So first, of course, yung sinasabi nating Arias Doctrine ba ito? Hindi pa. A public officer who is head of the agency does not necessarily make him liable for disallowance. Hindi daw automatic, di ba? Na-mention na ito natin ng isang Supreme Court case discussed prior episodes. In Albert versus Gangan, the Supreme Court ruled that as head of agency, he cannot be held personally liable for the disallowance simply because he was the final approving authority of the transaction, and that the employees who processed the same were directly under his supervision. Sabi ng Supreme Court, though not impossible, it would be improbable for him to check all the details and conduct physical inspection and verification considering the voluminous paperwork attendant to his office. Parang Arias Doctrine lang rin. Parang yun yata yun. In Parinio versus Sandigan Bayan, the Supreme Court held that guilt must be premised on a more knowing personal and deliberate participation of each individual who is in charge with others as a part of conspiracy. Again, there may be facts and circumstances that may be not attending to your specific case, and that is why medyo sabi natin evolving po kasi yung Supreme Court case. Kamakailan lang, kani-kanina lang, nag-discuss tayo. Sinabi ng Supreme Court, you were in cohorts or you were in conspiracy. Miski sinabi nila, hindi po naman kami kasali doon sa accumulated cash advances. Sabi ng Supreme Court, alam mo pala may unliquidated cash advance, ba't ka nagpirma? Pero dito sa Parinio versus Sandigan Bayan, it must be premised on more knowing, personal, and deliberate participation of each individual in charge with others as parts of conspiracy. Ito na po yung sinasabi nating Arias Doctrine. We will be setting a bad precedent. Ito yung 180 SCRA 309, 1989. Ito yung medyo evolving na po kasi yung mga doctrines and principles ng Supreme Court. So, mind you, medyo papasway away na po dito sa Arias Doctrine. But it is worth mentioning, baka po kasi yung facts and circumstances nyo papasok dito. Sabi ng Supreme Court dito, we will be setting a bad precedent if a head of office plagued by also common problems, dishonest or negligent subordinates, overworked, multiple assignments or possessions, or plain incompetence is suddenly swept into a conspiracy conviction simply because he did not personally examine every single detail. Dito sa Arias Doctrine, parang dino-away ng Supreme Court yung to personally examine every single detail. Mas bago po yung discussion ng ating case kanina. Kasi kaya ko sabi parang deviation of the Arias Doctrine yung Supreme Court case natin kanina. Painstakingly trace every step from inception and investigate the motives of every person involved in transaction before affixing his signature as final approving authority. Ano po sabi ng Supreme Court dito sa Arias Doctrine? All heads of offices have to rely to a reasonable extent on their subordinates and on good faith of those who prepared the bids, purchase supplies, or enter negotiations. There should be other grounds than the mere signature or approval appearing on the voucher to sustain a conspiracy charge and conviction. However, sabi ko po, recent cases indicate the growing departure from the Arias Doctrine. Now, in Cruz versus Sandigan Bayan, there exists an exceptional circumstances which should have prodded the petitioner to be curious and to go beyond what his subordinates had prepared or recommended. That discrepancy between the names indicated in the checks on the one hand and those in the disbursement voucher, may discrepancy pala eh. Sabi ng Supreme Court, it should have alerted you that something was definitely amiss. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for our responsibility, accountability, and liability doctrines and principles. Mayroon po sana ang kasaling discussion yan about the essential elements about RA 3019, yung mga 6713, yung mga ombudsman, and so on and so forth. But we have to leave that topic. Nakaka-4 episodes na tayo po dyan. If you will going to revisit, just replay these episodes ng ating online kapihan sa BLGF7 para namang lumubo po yung aming views dyan sa Facebook page. Magwa 1.2 thousand lang yata. 1,200 views lang yata yung mga average views namin. So, lubuhan nyo naman. I-replay nyo naman. Panghuling sigaw palabas before we end with this episode. Balikan po natin yung pupunta ng kailan, basta sabi niya magjo-join na daw sa may pupuntahan daw siya. Nagpapa-swab test na nga siguro yan kasi interzonal yung pupuntahan, interport. Kaya nga hindi po muna ako pumunta sa office kasi delikado yung may magpapa-swab test baka maging close contact. Nay, ingat-ingat po, Nay. Mga sigaw palabas at mga pa-shoutouts po dyan. Ayan, naninigas si Miss Junan Abilia. Hindi si Miss Junan yung naninigas, yung screen niya. Ayan. Pasok. Pasok po. Yan. Putol-putol ka pa rin, Nay. Alugin mo konti
kasi
po yung...
paturukan.
Ayan. Klaro na. Sige, go ahead.
Pala, hindi ka naturukan ng dating.
Yan yung resulta pag walang turok. Kasi wala kang turok.
So,
May tumuturok pag gabi, Nay. Payag ka doon? Minsan, busy yung mga nurse sa umaga. So, may tumuturok pag gabi. Okay lang?
Kaya yung mga hipan na tayo po sana, huwag tayo dalawa ng natin yung unity.
Basta may sinasabi ka. Di lang namin mapapakinggan. Basta may sinasabi ka. Unity lang yung napakinggan ko. Ano yung unity na yan? Baka nagiging rallyist ka na rin, ha? Protester ka na rin. May pa-unity ka pa dyan. Nay, go ahead, Nay. Yan. Bumalik ka na, Nay.
Bas, ay post niya everyone said Monday to safe always. So, parin
Basta yan, no? Lahat ng nanood, ginigreet po namin. I have to go to RD9 para pag-greetings. At saka, balikan kita mamaya. Hindi pa muna natin pag-closing si RD. Greetings lang muna. RD, baka may pag-greetings ka dyan, RD. Huwag muna ang closing message, RD. Balikan na natin si Miss Jonan.
Yes, shout out sa viewer natin kami nasa sa USA. Si Ma'am Marjorie Gallego Ham, one of my friends. Okay?
Yeah, good morning, ma'am.
She's watching. Also yung treasurer natin sa Negros Oriental, si Miss Bernadette Timonio. Thank you so much. Of course, si Attorney Cecilin, yung hindi mo na
Kagrupo natin.
Kasama natin sa WG. Okay? So Attorney Cecilin, see you this afternoon. Okay?
See you.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. And sino pa ba? Yun lang.
Ayan,
yung City Assessor, Assistant City Assessor ng Cebu City, si Mr. Ricky Enolpe is also joining us. Thank you so much, Sir Ricky. And yung treasurer ng Dumanhok, Cebu, si Ma'am Leticia Abs Cabillion. So thank you so much, Ma'am Leting, for joining our kapihan. Saan na ba si Ma'am Junan?
Binatin ni Adi si Atty. Cecilin ng Valenzuela, Adi, no? Si Atty. Cecilin.
City Treasurer, City Assessor ng Valenzuela.
Ayan.
Atty. Cecilin Andrade.
Good morning po, ma'am. Sabi pa, kagrupo po namin sa isang focus group discussion. Again, hindi po muna namin divulge ano po yun. Sabi po niya, nag-message sa akin, Attorney Wilbert, mayroon po akong isesend sa iyo sa email. Paki-review po naman. Pagsabihan ka ng isang attorney sila na reviewin mo yung trabaho niya. Nakakadyahe kaya yun. Ang galing kaya ni Attorney Silin. Isang practitioner na abogado doon sa assessment at sa cooperation. Re-reviewin mo yung trabaho niya. Attorney Silin, good morning po. At saka RD, hanggang ngayon RD, hindi pa nag-comment back si Attorney Regal. Totoo yatang mas matanda pa siya sa atin, RD.
Most likely, I agree. Baka months lang siguro, Torns.
Months lang siguro. Sige, tawad na.
Pero going back to Attorney Cecilin, she really has the passion for assessment practice, diba? So she really puts her heart in the assessment services. So I'm really glad that we have Attorney Celine in our group and a practicing city assessor of Valenzuela City. Thank you, Attorney Celine.
Yung okay namin sa Atty. Celine. Yung problema po kasi ng mga assessor yung dumadami yung record natin sa ating office saan namin ilalagay? Yan yung ina-address po ni Atty. Celine, may ginagawa po siya. If ever lulusot yun is you have Atty. Celine to thank. Nay, pasok Nay. Nay, Miss Jonana Villa. Ayan, nag-comment back
Hello,
na po
hello,
ba Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'm back. Okay, naririnig na? Okay na, hindi putol-putol?
Okay na po.
I would like to thank Ate Brenda Liamedo for my hair and makeup. Ate Bren, binabalik-balik ko Ate Bren for my hair and makeup. Shout out para sa ating mga kasamahan, kay Jed Chin, kay Julie Spanoy, kay Alan Suaso, kay June Fajardo, at saka doon sa admin, kay Bingbing Montanosa, kay Sarah Jane Mitante, kay Ana Teresa Balane sa Treasury, is Merisit Caballero, Edwin Villanueva, at kay Emma Go. Salamat sa inyong pagtanaw o pagtangkilik sa atong kapihan sa BLGF 7. Actors.
Thank you, Nay. Magjo-June na nga. Magjo-June na nga, Nay.
Pahabol to
Yes,
para
go
sa
ahead.
First Lady pala. Hindi ko kasi nag-chat siya nga unsa man ang June padulong pa June up to June 30 pa man kaha na madam. So ang pag-decide up to June 30. Okay. Madam
Talaga
Cora.
ha? Sineryoso mo talaga ha?
Good morning po ma'am, First Lady ng Tacurong City. Papunta na po dyan kung sino yung pupunta. Ayan, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fruitful discussion. 4 episodes of responsibility, accountability, and liability. Hopefully, medyo may nakuha kayo, John. Medyo evolving po kasi yung mga Supreme Court case, so hindi natin ma-capture in kung ano ba talaga yung parang applicable to all. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking back to our regional director para sa kanyang closing message for this 27th episode of our BLGF7 Kapihan. Welcome back our regional director, Director J.C. Joy Doctorero. Pasok Adi.
Thank you, Torns. So again, thank you so much to our viewers who have been joining us. So hopefully, marami kayong natututunan sa discussion ni Atty. Tanica, and hopefully, tuloy-tuloy yung pagsutangkilik ninyo because another breakthrough from BLGF7 through blogging. You will learn the processes, yung ano ba yung ginagawa ng mga assessor, mga treasurer. So in particular, gagawa ng video, parang tutorial videos by our production team. So susubukan namin for the time being, i-feature natin next week. So please join us again next week, and I'm so thankful to our production team with Atty. Tanica, Julie Spanoy, also our hindi nakikita na production member si Mr. June Ramusa. Of course, Ms. Junan and the rest of the team, thank you so much and good morning.
And ladies and gentlemen, this had been your 27th episode of the BLGF7 online kapihan. Ikonsulta mo kay Atty. Tanica in behalf of our regional director, Director J.C. Doctorero, our Chief of the Treasury Division, Ms. Jonana Villa, and our manager sa aming production team, Mr. Julie Spanoy. This had been your host, Atty. Wilbert Tanica, saying bye-bye!